and go.
Welcome to Coop and Hatch Podcast.
Zen. Alright, cool. It's been a minute, huh? Alright.
Yeah, alright.
What are we on, 14?
Yeah.
14, okay. 1, 2. Hello!
Hi.
Merry Christmas. We obviously took it off in respects of being said Christmas. And we hope you guys had a great holiday, I guess, with your families. It was pretty good for ours. It was an interesting one, but it wasn't bad by any means. We got a website! That's crazy!
How can you say that was a bad Christmas?
Not at all. So that's just coopandhatchpodcast.com. It's fantastic. As you can tell, we're changing up the format a little bit. Still. So, we are not going to be doing the presentation and whatnot. If you go look on our website, all the information I will have available underneath the same video, which is really cool. So any PowerPoints and stuff I'll be making will actually go along on that site. The YouTube video will just be the videos from here on out. So, yeah, and we're soon, we might be having a merch store here pretty soon.
Working on it.
Ooh. So yeah, there's a lot of awesome stuff right off the bat on the new year. We're not even full on in the new year. We're already kicking ass. Yeah. Sorry for the French. Anyways, hi. This is the Coop and Hatch Podcast. I'm Mattson.
I'm Carrie.
And we're on episode 14. This one's an interesting one. We are going into unknown territories.
Yeah, this is one I don't think either one of us ever thought we would do.
Nope. It 100% was not on the... No, it wasn't. Straight up, it wasn't on the list to do, but the more we've been learning about it and the more that we understand where these fit into the world, the more they are interesting.
And also the more we learn about it, we realize there's just not one company that...
No. And it's crazy how there's so many are identical, but they are all so different.
Yeah.
And that is electric cars. So yeah,
or better known as EVs.
The EVs. So fun facts that we've kind of learned along the way of just electric cars is main battery source is lithium ion. So giant versions of your phone battery.
There's one company.
Yes, we'll talk about that. They use a lithium sulfur, which is interesting. So,
which I don't know anything about any
looking at the rest of the specs of that vehicle, though, it seems to be working. So
all I know is the pictures you see on social media about lithium mines.
Yeah,
that's all I know about lithium. It comes in the dirt.
Yeah. So other things we learned that I still think this is just incorrect, but their version of miles per gallon is still MPGe. That still doesn't make any sense, mainly just because you don't measure electricity in gallons, but who am I? Just a dude on a podcast. So, and then I guess what else do we know about electric cars? Obviously, we got the big ones, Tesla. Porsche has the Taycan, that's incredible. The ID4, the Volkswagen ID4 has the fastest time up the Pikes Peak.
Yeah,
that's great. That's insane.
That's crazy.
Watch that video. You know what? We'll link it on the website.
So when I was in England, I saw a cool Jaguar SUV, electric, and also a Peugeot wagon, which was pretty sick.
Side note, this is hopefully going to take only a couple minutes. Why do the Europeans get cooler wagons and vans than us?
Because they're state cars.
Anyways.
And we got SUVs.
Oh, that is true.
I mean, how can you replace an
we're going to keep this sidetrack under 3 minutes. We were massive fans of the Grand Tour. And so that is Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond, and James May. Over in Europe, they used to be the European Top Gear. They are now teamed with Prime and do these big specials. They're kind of like giant episodes. And we just learned in France, they don't do SUVs.
Yeah.
They still do wagons and like estate vehicles, and if you want to go off-roading, cool, you bought a car, take it off-road. It doesn't matter what it is. I love that.
They just did a show where they went through France talking about a lot of the French
Just
cars,
like the French cars in general, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, they did an awesome job.
That is the perfect combination of comedy and automotive. Like, even if you're not a car fan, just watching that's hilarious.
Yeah. But
sidetrack done. So
that was because Peugeot, right?
what?
That's because I said Peugeot.
Yeah, that's why sidetrack done. Anyways, back to electric cars. So, other big companies we know are doing some. You said Jag. So there is this award that's given out for electric vehicles.
I was going to just ask you about that if you remember what the award was.
I don't off the top of my head. I'll put a link in with where all these were rated. And so I got my hands on this list, and it's basically just like the upcoming EV vehicles, what people are most excited about. Surprisingly, the Hyundai Kona EV. There's a Kona gas car, but then there's also the EV.
You said that fast. They might be mistaken. It's the Hyundai, not the Honda.
Oh yes,
you said it. Really
I say fast. I say that fast. So Hyundai Kona EV. It won most anticipated like daily, which is kind of interesting. Its price point's really good. That is my guess, but. And then there is obviously Tesla's made the list. Rivian is another one. That was like the first electric truck that people saw before like the Cybertruck. I think they're being made in Texas or something like that. So they're on the list. Obviously Lucid in California with the Air and the Dream project are on that list. They make an impressive vehicle. This one's super surprising to me. Fisker.
Yeah, I love Fisker.
Okay, it's the weirdest company. They have a patent for a solar roof on a car. That's why Tesla can't use it. But genius. That's so cool. So they have one called the Ocean. It's also made in California. Super cool. I like that. A lot of these are actually made in the States by just like some random guys that just have just no electricity apparently.
So if you're familiar with the first Fisker, it was a really low, sleek.
Mm-hmm. The Karma. It kind of had a
4-door.
Kind of a catfish look to the front.
Yeah, so
like little diamonds.
It was kind of a sports car, sedan sort of combo thing with a solar panel roof.
It was kind of like how the RS6 is with the sport back. It was kind of one of the first ones to do a sport back, like slope back like that.
Yeah, so their electric car is completely different.
It's fantastic.
It's more like a SUV sort of hybrid kind of.
Yeah.
What do they call those? That funky Honda car that you like? It's a crossover.
Ooh, sorry.
Is that what they're called? Crossovers?
Oh, just dying a little bit on air. How fun.
Sorry for your eardrums.
Yeah, sorry about that one.
Whatever. There's this whole version of car. It's not an SUV, but it's not a sedan, and it's just like...
CUVs?
Yeah, that might be it.
Yeah, like mini versions of everything?
Well, I don't know.
Compact. I guess that's what the C would be, huh?
I think it's a crossover.
Yeah, crossover is more probably what we're looking for. You're talking about the weird Honda Accord that I like... It's the Honda Accord that is like I believe it's actually called the crossover. As a factory car, that thing is butt ugly. But if you can imagine that thing like slammed in, when I'm saying slammed, like as low as our Audi to the ground in this like with a little bit of like an aero kit and like a spoiler, I mean that definitely is not a bad option. Or you lift her.
Yeah, I've seen a couple.
Big old lift on that would be cool.
I've seen a few lifts, and I think, okay, now that looks all right.
Yeah,
but just this in between.
It's got potential for the right person.
Yeah.
And if the right person wants assistance, hit us up. So
if you own one, I hope you love it.
True. I bet it's durable. So
it's a Honda.
Another company we're a little bit biased towards this company, mainly because their design concept is by far like probably one of the best looking design concepts on a car in the last 5 years.
You know, have you ever looked at a car and said, somebody designed that, somebody approved that, somebody made that, and somebody else bought it? It's just kind of a weird looking sort of...
The Honda!
Yeah.
The Honda is that. This is the opposite.
Or remember in the old days, the Plymouth or Pontiac Aztec.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. It's the how did this car come to be? So the company's called Alpha. Honestly, it's the polar opposite of that. It's like, how is this not more...
Completely opposite.
Yeah, like, how is this not already a car?
Yeah.
Like, it already fits. It's amazing.
Well, I remember when the Prius first came out. Everybody was so hyped about this hybrid. And then you come out and you're like...
nah.
What?
Nah.
So many of the electric cars, I kind of think they're just... putting the technology, but not necessarily the style. I mean, there's days I'll be driving down and I'll see some Tesla with cool wheels on it buzz by me. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
And looking, you know,
they got good lines.
Definitely have good lines. So, and I think they have some style, but some of these other electric cars that are coming out are just like a car.
Dude, like I don't know, they're so all over the place because you get stuff like Cybertruck, it is like. That's a crazy design. Then you have stuff like the Kona EV, literally just a Kona without a grill. Like, how does it more cargo space?
It's like if you're going to all that effort, put style.
Yes.
So when we learned about Alpha, and it's
just a design concept that it died. This design concept fully died, and they're bringing it back, and I'm stoked. That's the only way to say this.
It's Alpha like Alpha the beginning, not like Alpha Romeo.
Not Alfa Romeo. It's Alpha Motor Company, I believe.
I believe they're in
California.
Southern California.
Yep. And then there's another company. This one, I love their name because I think it fits the car very well. Called the Canoe. We'll show you some pictures of that one. That's a funny looking one. But I could see it being utilized in very specific spots very well. And then there's the Mullen Dragonfly. Based off the name, you can kind of expect what the thing's gonna be based around. And that's the Mullen is the company using the lithium sulfur. So, tell us a little about the Dragonfly first. So,
also, what's the price on the?
Oh, they're to be announced.
So like 300,000
probably.
I think when I was looking at it,
it won the award. It's one of those that won the award, so it's got to go on the list.
It's definitely leaning more towards the supercar look than
for sure here
than a regular car.
So we've got a couple of pictures. We'll put more pictures up again on the website. So this is the Dragonfly.
So
fantastic. It's got good new school, like it's got, I would say, almost like an NSX front end to it with like a Bugatti-ish like rear end.
It's got some solid lines.
Yeah, so it's got correct design language. It's more of, it'll be interesting to see if it's kind of how like Mazda used the rotary and it was successful kind of, but not really. So, will lithium solar or sulfur be the same way?
So we have some of the specs of these in front of us, so that's why I keep looking down, and I'm kind of surprised at top speed 175.
Yeah, kind of sad, huh?
Yeah, it seems
it's limited though.
Are you sure you didn't do a typo with
yes.
225?
Yeah, it's because it's limited intentionally.
Uh-oh.
So good on them for safety.
Yeah. Safe race.
Surprisingly, though, it is not the fastest 0 to 60 on this list.
Okay, 0 to 60, 4.6.
That's pretty good. I bet you could run that fast.
No. I'd fall on my face. You know that.
You'd have an asthma attack by 0.1 second.
Yeah, no, I'd have bloody nose because of asphalt road rash. Face plant.
That's a visual.
That's me running. Yeah, I'm really surprised on the specs on this because, compared to some of the other electric cars, I mean, they're stinking fast.
Yeah, this one, you can tell they're trying.
So, and this may be because 280 kilowatts, which we're still trying to understand this. Remember when, well, you don't remember, when I was in elementary school, they said, you're going to learn the metric system.
Oh, we've talked about this before.
They've never taught us it. So this is
kilowatts is part of the metric.
This is like kilowatts versus horsepower.
Yeah.
280 kilowatts. Or
it's just another measurement of power.
375 horsepower. Which isn't a lot for an electric car.
It's not, and so this is going to be a lot of just like concept thinking in this too. So when they're selling these, when I hear 280 kilowatt, I'm like, my brain's 280 horsepower. I'm like, yeah, 280 horsepower, WRX, STI, cool, whatever. But then when you say 375 horsepower, I'm thinking.
That's more
GT350. I'm thinking,
or into the SRT range, or
yeah, like that's getting up into some power range, and so I'm thinking, oh, okay. So how are they going to sell it? Are they going to try selling it based off of the kilowatt, because that's how I believe electricity is measured? Honestly, we're still figuring this out. Like I said, this is territory we have never been in. Or are they going to sell based off horsepower numbers just because people like horsepower?
There's a whole bunch of people out there that were saying, you guys were way too technical in the beginning, talking about 327, 4
and now we don't even know how to measure power.
Just laughing at us. Going, you're so dumb. Oh, that's this or that. Like earlier, I watched a thing on a guy talking about Teslas, and he was probably younger than you, but boy, he was smart about all the
this is
newfangled stuff. So
this is definitely, it'll be weird to see kids that like the next generation of people that want to do this, how it's mainly going to be electric, and then talking about, man, you remember the old V8s? Those things sucked.
Exactly. So it comes in four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive.
All-wheel drive, yeah.
Which is nice.
I mean, most of them.
There's 6 inches of snow outside right now.
You're gonna drive that through 6 inches? That's a snowplow, sir.
Yeah, well.
I mean, the Audi's already basically there. We're fine.
375, and those tires, all you do is spin anyway, like I did in the SR8.
True.
Got the Jeep stuck in 3 inches of snow.
Yeah, how embarrassing.
Spun.
You got an all-wheel drive Jeep stuck in the snow.
3 inches of snow.
That's embarrassing.
But I shot snow roosters out of all 4 tires for like 50 feet.
In the middle of Idaho. They're all thinking, what is this city slicker doing?
So I came out and pushed the butt end out.
Yes.
And drove off.
Probably the most cowboy-looking guy there.
But, could you imagine 375 horsepower?
That's pretty good. Honestly, you're gonna
in the snow.
You're gonna get a lot. It's gonna just be a really torquey WRX that is styled differently. That's how I can see that translating. The interesting thing is there's a lot of single motor and dual motor, and there's actually a triple motor a quad motor.
Yeah, I've seen quad motors.
Yeah, the quad. Well, okay, so I learned that it could be a dual motor that is quad powered, meaning all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
But then there's actual quad motor, quad power, so each thing has its own power source. Kind of like how the original Humvee had its own, almost like its own motor for each tire. Yeah. Same thing.
Same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's really, really interesting.
So that's the Dragonfly.
Yep, that's the Dragonfly. So the Alpha, this is the one we're biased towards. There's a lot of options, and I think that's one of the reasons I like it so much. This is going to be one of those, I'm going to link their website and also just put up the pictures in our website, just because there's a lot.
And also on social media, go follow them if you're interested.
Yeah, it's cool. They don't have a big following yet either, so they are so design specific vehicles. So they have a coupe that's just a normal coupe. Like, cool, you're just taking an electric coupe.
But the style of the coupe, when you first showed it to me, you said it's an Alpha in the style.
It looks like a Datsun.
And the roof on all of them kind of sloped back a little bit, kind of like the old sedan Alfa Romeos from the 60s.
Yeah, so
where the back had a sloop. So when you said that, I said,
it's very like old school JDM, but like new school European.
A lot of European style.
Especially on the wagon. I'm still interested to know how you feel about that, because it is extremely European.
Well, I love it. I just need to see better pictures of the actual butt end, because the butt from what I've seen in the few pictures, is very flat.
Yeah.
Where most...
It reminds me kind of a...
down and they're little...
It kind of reminds me of an SRT4 Caliber, where it had that little deck off the back, but imagine that window more raked.
Yeah. So the insane thing about these guys is they're teaming up with major aftermarket.
Yeah. So Rotiform is... You'll get Rotiform wheels with this car. You just saved me $1,200 on wheels by throwing it into the cost of the... Thank you. Like, that's incredible.
The other super cool thing is they have the 2-door, the 4-door, they have a wagon there they just announced.
And when we say they have a 2-door, 4-door, and another variant of it, this is on every single body platform. So the coupe is... There's a coupe. There's an off-road coupe called the Jax. It's lifted from factory. You get a lifted vehicle, just how basically like what the STI is supposed to be, but better.
Well, but it also has all the accessories.
It's got like light bars. Yeah, they'll see all that once they see the pictures. But then the Saga is the sedan. And then they've made a Super Saga, and it looks like it's ready to take on Pikes Peak. Giant wing, aero kit, so sick. That one is to be announced as well. They don't even have a price on that, and that one can only come in all-wheel drive. So that tells me they're ready to like crank power.
Yeah, it's going to be insane. And then their trucks.
Oh, they're called the Wolf. One coolest truck name ever.
Yeah.
Not like you're going to tell me a Ranger is going to take on a Wolf. No, he's going to try to take on a Wolf. He's probably going to get the rest of the pack come in and get him. He died.
So
no.
They also had done the same thing with the trucks. You have just your basic standard truck.
But cab, an extended cab, and a 4-door.
Well, they have
Genius.
They have the 3 cab sizes, but they also have just kind of your plain Jane truck. Yeah. But then they have one that's got some accessories, and then they have one that is...
Doesn't even... I'm sure you can buy... It comes with doors, but they make their own factory bar doors, like a Jeep, that you can just buy.
Well, it almost equals an Overlander.
Oh, for sure.
You could almost just go live in this
honestly,
thing
if it had
in the dunes for
if it had wider fenders on it, I don't know if you could even get wider fenders on it because of the design. But
they're fast.
It could be on the pre-runner level.
Yeah.
Too, like really easily.
It's sick. And earlier we were talking about when they actually are readily available and easy to come by, I would have a hard time because the off-road coupe is by far super cool.
But they also have the off-road wagon.
But if looking at them, my first thought would be to get the coupe, just because I've always wanted to either turn an RS 2.5 into an off-roader, or even crazier is to turn a TT into an off-roader. Yeah. But this thing's already a coupe, already lifted, already killer tires, light bars, everything you need. But then at the same time, would I ever use that off-road, or would I just drive around town looking super cool, where if I had a truck and get a dirt bike someday, throw it in there? It's just hard to say which one would you pick, because Subaru is the only other car that really has...
I think I found the solution to this,
has cars that can be street cars, but then also they have the off-road version.
Yeah, the only thing, I mean, they have the Baja, so they technically have a truck. But here's the more important question: is how difficult is it to get a dirt bike into a truck versus a dirt bike on a bike trailer?
Yeah, that's true.
Because a bike, they have the same power output. They're all basically the same. It's just, and they're both lifted. They're lifted at the same height. So it's basically, do you want to have a coupe or do you want to have a truck?
Yeah, so we'll make that decision when we can actually buy one.
Yeah, which surprisingly would not be difficult, because these suckers are low on the price range compared to a lot of these. So their base coupe can go 220 plus miles, and then all the way up into the truck can go, the truck 4-door, the Super Wolf, like full maxed out one, can get up to 300 miles on a single charge. So
the other cool thing is they have
pretty good.
They have a backup battery pack.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a cooler. but circular, like a cylinder.
And in every car, there's a place for it to go.
Yeah, like they have preset spots for you. It's obviously something aftermarket you have to buy, but you just, there you go. So it's got a spot. Like, cool.
If you go up into the woods and you play your radio a little too long and your car's dead.
Your car's dead. Now you don't have to whip out your generator, which in California, California recently passed a law where they can't sell tiny little motors, and so everything has to be electric almost.
It makes sense, an electric generator.
Yeah. So, but that's basically what this is now. You just charge this, and it's a backup battery that's just like the size of a backpack.
Cool idea, and even more so is they have a place to put it, so it's like not bouncing around. And
yeah, I like that, because you're not trying to like figure out like how to fit it. They've already done it for you. And if you get one of those that has a roof rack, the roof rack has a spot for it, so that's waterproof. That's sick. They also have like USB ports and like normal DC power too, so you could like plug in a TV and just take it up there and go watch.
That makes sense. Let's go into the woods to get away from the world, but bring the TV.
Bring the TV.
Can't miss my Saturday night news.
I was gonna go Saturday morning cartoons, but that's a giant age difference. So these all come in single or dual, which means they can be front wheel drive or all wheel drive. That's on every platform. There are the top line ones do require you to be all wheel drive, which honestly makes sense.
And the price range?
Their price range starting
$32,000.
Yeah, you're looking at base 32 for the coupe. All the way up to, I'm amazed that it's not more, but $56K for the biggest, baddest truck.
Top of the line. So you go down to the Chevy Ford Dodge dealer and you look at a T-Rex or a Raptor.
You're looking at 70, like 80.
70
plus you get all the dealership markups. You're looking at like $100K.
Yeah.
I mean, go try to buy a new Bronco less than 72 right now.
And that's just stock. That doesn't come with the light bars and the aftermarket wheels.
You still have to go buy all that. Like, that's crazy.
These things look like they just drove out of the off-road.
Okay, the perfect way to describe the Super Wolf is Marty McFly's Tacoma.
It was a regular Toyota. That was before the Tacoma.
Oh, but his Toyota truck, puts off that exact same vibe from the factory.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool. Like,
yeah, so you buy one of these, you're rolling around town, and you're looking like Marty McFly.
Yeah. And who doesn't want to be Marty McFly?
The cool Marty McFly.
Yeah, not the...
yeah.
Or
the cool one when he gets the truck.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, hold up. Sorry about that. We'll just cut this out. Give that a second.
We're good. Oh, you need cut time.
Cut time. Okay. So we'll stop fangirling about it. It's other cool facts is they do a lot of the square or cubic footage inside of electric vehicles, I've noticed, for cargo space, but it's the total space. So they kind of like, they pad it, for sure.
So if you don't want to drive with a box on top of your head,
you got to take off the cubic size of your head, yes.
So the space around.
Yeah.
You can't see.
Exactly. So if you got a big head, that's a lot of cubics. So,
should have got some water. We're both coughing.
Yeah, we are. It's a coupe. 14. So the 14 is the actual. They did theirs based off of cargo. That's why their numbers are smaller. So they have the 14 cubic feet, which isn't bad. We have less in the TT. So.
And what did we get in the TT? 6, 7 crates, boxes of stuff.
Yeah. I've gotten a person, 3 snowboards, 2 chairs, all my snowboarding gear. So it's not impractical.
That's for the 2-door coupe, though.
Yeah. The Saga is 20. So the sedan. So basically, you just get the extra seat space added to it.
Have they announced the wagon yet? Because they just announced.
Yeah, the wagon got announced on the 24th, so they haven't put out the specs for that yet.
Christmas Eve.
My guess, I'll do an educated guess though, at
27.5.
Well, you're already at... you're at 20. So it's a wagon, so basically add a back seat, but then cut part of that off. So that'd be about like 10. So I bet 32. 32 cubic feet. I'm giving it 2 just because it feels nice. So, and then the trucks can get up to 43, but you also truck. So, makes sense. The thing that's really impressive about these, though, is... So the size of these trucks is... They are smaller than Tacomas.
Yeah.
Like, significantly, actually. I would say it's probably closer to Ford's new Maverick. It's a mini truck, for sure.
I haven't seen one in real life, so...
Yeah, but they compared to like the Rivian, that thing's huge. So the smallest truck can just the Wolf can tow 3,000 pounds. If anything past that can go 6,724 pounds. That's stupid.
Especially for a mini truck, you wouldn't want to push that. You wouldn't want to tow that. And then going down the grapevine trying to stop. Woo!
Yeah, well, it's an electric car, so it probably has like its own cool electric braking.
Yeah,
so
your trailer's going to be passing you.
An electric trailer. And then...
Trailer brakes.
So yeah, and then we also added some style points, but that's just because that's our personal opinion type stuff, so...
Well, when you see them, you're going to say, yeah, that's an amazing looking car.
Yeah, just know that none of them drop below 8 on our scale.
So, I mean, for the price... How can you beat that?
You can't.
I mean, I know guys that are driving $70,000, $80,000 trucks.
Yeah.
And that's just pretty much stock. That's not counting...
That's not zero wheels, no lights, no lift,
no clear bra.
Nothing. This comes with all that under $60K. Like, that's a package deal.
That's for the top of the line.
Yes, sir. Okay, so let's move on.
Might even have a kitchen sink.
But I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, the Maverick can get one in it. So this is the Fisker. This is the one we're talking about. Kind of looks like a Range Rover-ish, like an Evoque, but if they like kind of lift it up the top.
Yeah, it's more SUV than I was remembering. So
I dig it. It's got a very unique SUV styling to it. It's like a sporty SUV.
Compared to the first Fisker, it's a whole different design.
Very different. Yeah. The first Fisker was basically just eco supercar, whereas this is like full eco mode, but utilized.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
It's cool looking.
Yeah,
and the thing they have their patent on the solar panel.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll explain more about that. So their battery system only needs to power the driveline, which is actually really cool because now you don't have parasitic feeding for all the accessories because everything is powered by the solar panel on the roof that is basically from like, imagine the dash here, there, and probably like your legs. Like anything past like your legs is just all solar power. Anything below your legs, that's all just magic power.
So those were really big words.
Parasitic.
I just picture, we just saw Spider-Man, the new one. I just picture Dr. Ock. You know,
no, so you can get
parasites sucking all the battery.
Yeah, it doesn't. You wouldn't really happen now, just because how everything's done. But the electricity can just go to the wrong places and just like waste power, essentially.
Like your radio, or like your features that can make your car bark or fart or whatever you want your car to do. Have engine sounds.
I mean, in the Y, it does come with a camp mode. It's got a fireplace.
Yeah, on the screen, fireplace.
Huge screen. My little sister has one. Screen's massive. That fireplace was large.
So that would be a parasitic?
No, because the power was supposed to be going there at that time.
No, but in your example.
Yes.
Those sorts of things are...
Yeah, those... Power is going to features that don't necessarily need it.
The thing I love, and I don't know, I'd imagine most others are coming out with it unless Tesla got a patent on it, is the pet feature.
Yeah!
Where the car will
Genius!
My friend has a Tesla, had somebody yelling at him in the parking lot for leaving his dog in the car. And
if you don't know, then yeah.
Yeah, it came out and he's getting yelled at. Yes, you're so mean, you shouldn't have a dog, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, excuse me, look at my dash, big letters, pet mode, at the temperature, So I was like, that's just insane. You can't do that with a 427. Big block muscle car.
Just blow all the heat air in there, you'll be fine.
You can't leave it running idle for an hour while you're in Costco buying 56 pack of toilet paper or 32 toothbrushes.
You have a weird shopping list.
That's what you get at Costco.
That is also true. I think the Ocean's cool. They're definitely playing into the California vibe of everything, and I really like that. They actually brought in like a street artist to come and paint one of them as like a display. And I was like, I like that. I like that they're part of the community, I guess is a good way to put it. These are also very similar to how Alpha has theirs set up to where there's so many packages. I wanted to break one out for you guys so you can kind of see how the packages are like made versus how they are done in a gas-powered car. They're surprisingly quite different. Sorry. They, depending on the package, 250 mile range to 350, so not bad. Also single or dual, which means front wheel drive or all wheel drive in this case. I want to see one that's rear wheel drive.
Do they make one?
I don't know. That'd be sick. They really should though. Yeah. Can you imagine how much torque directly to the back? Oh, that'd be fun.
Oh, that's scary.
That's spinny. I couldn't find the power output on it. They weren't very specific about that. But getting the vibe, I wouldn't be impressed if they didn't hit like 150.
150 kilowatts?
Yeah, or even 150 horsepower. I would not be surprised if they don't go over that.
Oh, on the...
Yeah, it's just not really the vibe,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then again they say 4-wheel drive, but I'm sure that means all-wheel drive. And then front-wheel drive, of course. Pricing goes from $38K to $69K. So, and seeing how like the Fisker, the Carmel is made, and that's some quality work. Like it honestly was beautiful.
A solid car. You shut the door and
it just.
It's metal.
Yeah, it just felt like such a solid car, and so I don't see them getting rid of that. And so when someone says $69K for a Fisker, that seems reasonable in my brain. Like that's a car I would spend $69K on.
That Cadillac that I saw in Canada, I don't know if they're making them here, but it was at around 60.
See, I would put the Fisker is comparable to that for me.
I'm thinking Cadillac quality. How would they lighten that car up if they're putting big old caddy seats in?
You really can't. It'll be interesting to see how the power to weight ratio is now viewed because of that. I've been like, well, we need more power, put a bigger battery in it, but we just made it massively heavy, get rid of bouginess inside, so like how is it going to move,
Yeah, because the weight's going to...
Yeah, because if you look, a good example of that was what Ford did with the trucks. They needed better MPG because of a lot of laws that passed, and so to lighten the trucks, they go down to an aluminum body, but still leave the big motors because people want the big motor. And so, are they going to end up doing the same thing where they start giving out a little bit?
Yeah, give and take, because weight's going to really matter.
Yeah, because those batteries are heavy. So yeah, I like it. It's the sun panel roof is the coolest, honestly. So I just added in features in which I thought were cool, which is like the towing capacities and whatnot. Solar panel wings in this entire list. That's
far.
So sick.
I wonder how much they want.
And it's glass. It's like, because it's glass, you can see through it.
I was talking.
Sorry, I just ADD moments.
How much are they asking other companies to pay in royalties to use the patent?
Oh, I have no idea. They'll probably make more money off that patent than they would the cars if they sold it.
Well, it's like Tesla making more money off the environmental, whatever that's called.
Just look. If you want to know more about that, that's something you can look up on yourself. We don't want to get... there's a lot of weird theories that based around that type of stuff, so we just stay out of it. So moving on, this is the Canoe, and its name, the company is called Canoe, and the name of the vehicle is Lifestyle Vehicle.
lifestyle vehicle.
Yeah, it's the most straightforward vehicle.
I'm picturing like one of those aqua cars or the amphibious duck cars you see.
That's about what you're getting.
Picturing something.
It's honestly, it fits. Everything about it just fits to what it is. I'll show you in a second. I'll read the specs so when you see this thing, you cannot be as disappointed in it. So, it can get up to 250 miles. That is the absolute max. It is a single or a dual as well. This is where the numbers are really sad. They have a really, really small one that has 27 horsepower, if I read that right. And then their biggest motor they have is 107 horsepower.
That's not so bad if it's a mid-sized car.
No. Oh, you know what? And this is the only one on this list that can go rear-wheel drive. So,
now I gotta see a picture.
Yeah, and then, let's see, lifestyle. Okay, they start at 34,750. So, you're up there. And I don't know. This is the thing that blows my mind. 188 cubic feet of space. Just empty space.
Cubic feet or inches?
Feet.
Is it a cargo van?
It's huge. It's so great. Its towing capacity is 11,000 pounds.
Okay, you can't be pulling 11,000 pounds with 24 horsepower.
There's no way. So obviously the 24.
That truck looking one, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So my guess is the 24 is listed on there because it looks like they do other electric vehicles as well. And I think honestly, I think it's a typo on their site from what I found.
Maybe if it's like a little electric car.
Yeah, I was thinking like a bike or something, and like I could totally see a bike coming along with one of these.
Well, I can't see a bike with 24 horsepower.
Why not? That's not too bad. An electric bike?
What's the Harley got? Like 100?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
24. Yeah.
It's not bad at all.
That'd be a fun bike.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's the Canoe. Style points, it's pretty low. It didn't make it high on the bar. I like the little truck. The little truck's cool. It reminds me kind of like of the Volkswagen truck.
Yeah, I'd drive that.
And the cargo van's kind of got like that like military, like utilitarian vibe to it, which it's got Cybertruck vibes.
Hey.
So
I know a guy in Atlanta looking for an electric van. Maybe that might work.
I think they come out in 2023, so you might have to wait. A lot of these are vehicles coming out in the future. I should have mentioned that. But it just shows you, like, just don't buy anything right now. Just wait. Just wait. Because there's some cool stuff coming.
And if you are going to buy, I mean, unless there's a Tesla that you've just
unless it's like your absolute goal vehicle, and you're like, I want to get an electric vehicle just because like it's good for the environment or just whatever your reasons are outside of it being a dream car. Just wait. There's so many cool cars coming.
But if you just want the electric car to have an electric car, then look at all the other options. The reason I wanted to do this show was because I had no clue there were so many other options already out there.
And it's not even the fact that like
major brands, Porsche,
they're
Audi,
viable options too.
Yeah, Porsche, Audi, Peugeot, Ford.
Nope.
Cadillac.
The Maverick, the new Maverick truck, you can get it in a gas or an electric.
That's cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but that's going to be a small truck.
Yeah, mini truck. But they are doing the Lightning in, I believe, a big truck. But you can get the Maverick, and they're going to be doing like a street package where it has like deep dish wheels and stuff like that, and like a little spoiler.
What's the Mustang Mach?
Oh, the Mach-E?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're like, obviously everyone's going to do stuff differently. There's just a lot more money in it and going to be in it. So for me, it's totally worth the wait for 3 to 5 years until something like that is like the one comes out.
Yeah, and to me the electric car, it's kind of like anytime a new model of something comes out, and you're kind of disappointed at first, and you're like, oh.
Well, okay,
but then as a year or two go by, it's like right now the new little mini Bronco, isn't as ugly as it was when it first came out.
No, it was fine.
I've gotten used to it. When it first came out,
now that you see,
are you kidding?
Once that you realize that the Bronco, not like the big Bronco, but the little Bronco is basically just a beefed up Escape. Cool car.
Well, it's the same when Dodge came back with the Dart. It's like, oh, that's a disappointment.
Yep.
So,
but looking at the specs, cool car.
Yeah, but looking at electric cars, I just pictured there wasn't a lot of choice. But
they seem really restrictive.
The more you look around, because I've never looked at them. I never had an interest in looking at them and figuring out what's out there. You're riding around in Katana's Tesla Y. It's a cool car, and they're stinking fast. So, but going from a big V8, loud, like going from the new cars up to, my mind just went blank. That one that we went for a ride in down St. George, the Nissan. What's this?
Oh, GTR?
Yeah, the GTR. GTR has computer everything, launch control, this, that. If you're just looking for just a raw car, lots of motor.
Don't buy anything past 2010.
So I looked at electric cars as like way over there. I never really looked at them for the cool factor because the styling wasn't my style.
Yeah, I think the thing that we had to realize was styling is a massive part of electric cars. Like even more than I would say gas-powered cars. Like styling is huge. It's way more of a definition in electric cars than it is in what we have.
And I think the one that got us looking at this different was the Alpha.
Yeah, but the thing that actually changed my mind about electric cars, I wouldn't say changed my mind, but makes me really accept them, is that dude that took that Tesla off-road. And I was like, holy, like that is the smartest, that's the best thing you could do with a Tesla, because all that immediate torque, all-wheel drive, he lifted it, you have ground clearance, you can crawl over anything.
Yeah, if you haven't seen
it, please.
I think it's a YouTube video. This guy took a wrecked Tesla and turned it into just a total beater off-roader.
It's fantastic. They do it in I think it was 2 days total, too. It's awesome.
Like they just stripped it down, lifted it, made it into this monster thing. But
oh yeah, once we found that, I think it was electric cars didn't have a purpose for me, and so they just didn't fit. And I was like, I see no reason for it. Now I see a purpose for it, and that's on Wolf Truck all day.
Yeah, and because that would fit everything that we would do in our lifestyle except the road trips.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'd ever take an electric car on a road trip.
Zero chance that's ever happened.
Unless I had a gas generator and 3 extra battery systems.
I still wouldn't do it just because we have the TT,
because driving 300 miles trying to find an open charger, and I don't have any idea where these other cars are going to charge.
Yeah.
Because what city was it? Beaver, Utah. We pulled in, and there was 8.
Yeah, there was 8. There was one spot open for Teslas to get charged. I mean, there was an indoor charging place that had a full-on inside of a parking garage, had a traffic jam because people. They didn't charge fast enough, or they left their cars there, and so all the spots were taken. And so I'm like, clearly the infrastructure is not there.
So there are some issues with you. Basically, you have to plan.
Yeah.
If you have an electric car for road tripping,
tell you what, if I'm road tripping, the last thing I want to do is have to plan where I'm stopping, man. I will stop where I want to stop.
But it's the evolution of going from just a raw car. Your Mini didn't have air conditioning. Your Mini didn't have power steering. You just stripped that thing down.
Yep.
That thing was just raw, pure power. You in the car, kind of like Shelby talks about, 7,000 RPM, you become one.
We most definitely hit that in that car.
So to go from that to these computerized fast cars like the GTR, you can't dish a GTR. It is an insane car. But
that is a gut-wrenching car.
It doesn't have that rawness of, that. We've talked about the FRS just being pure raw car, or the Mini when we get that done.
Yeah.
It's just motor, gear shift, brake. That's all you have. There's no electric.
Prayers. Prayers the other thing on that list.
So to go from that to a car that can drive itself,
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't like giving up. Like one car I rented had the lane control thingy, and I almost crashed because the car started getting me back to the center of the lane, and I wasn't ready for it. And I'm like, what the heck? And I'm like jerking the wheel, and it, so these auto safety things.
See, here's another concept question for you. Then is so a lot of elderly people have a really hard time giving up driving because you're giving up freedom, right?
Don't be knocking elderly people.
It's just a known fact. I'm not.
He's picking on.
I'm picking on the world. I'm picking on age. I'm picking on time itself.
Okay.
So, anyways, I wonder if is kind of having that same feeling sooner, because now we're giving up a lot of that control, because like when you're shifting, you feel everything, that you can feel the click, especially when you get like a nice click, and oh yeah, and then you go into the next one, but you can feel the feedback from the pedals. And so is giving up a gas powered car, because electric cars do a lot of the work now, is it like that?
Yeah, I think the new generation coming out, I think they're going to be okay. They're just obsessed with technology. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you have all this technology and then a car that can just literally kick your butt coming off a line with no effort.
Zero.
So I love the adrenaline rush you get from driving an electric car. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we talked about it years ago. My nephew was working on his degree at BYU, and they were building 3 electric race cars.
Yeah, we talked about them a little bit.
So he called me, and I got to go drive their Indy style race car, like a little mini Indy, and the thrill and the speed. I got home.
It's just different.
And talked about, it's like a roller coaster launch when you're just in that little tiny cockpit. Mm-hmm. I barely fit because I'm a little round, and I just hit that. It was like growing up in the Belmont roller coaster. Just
sorry, this has just got me on another track of so yes, the speed is the same. In points in my life, I have gone over 120. Up higher,
just a little bit.
Yeah, it was all safe control situations, so speed for me, even in a car or a bike, after 120, everything feels the same. Like nothing feels different, right? So speed is.
Other than you're holding on for dear life.
Yeah, okay.
The blankety blank am I doing right now?
Yes, there is. On a bike, there is the, if I sneeze, I die. But either way, it's the feeling of speed. 120 and 140 feel the exact same. Everything's floating. It's like the car doesn't feel attached to the ground. The bike doesn't feel attached to the ground.
That's the scariest part, is the float, and then you hit little whoop-de-doos.
Yeah, and then the suspension actually kicks in, because your suspension starts lifting at high speed, and so you get the cushion coming back in. And that's the exact same for me, right? But it's the delivery, which we're talking about horsepower. What's different is torque delivery in these situations.
This is instant. You hit that gas and it's
so instant. What I'm getting to is, because speed.
I just said you hit the gas.
Oh, you hit the volts.
What do you hit?
The pedal.
Hit the outlet.
Flip the switch.
Hit the wall outlet.
So people are used to getting up to speed slower, is what I'm saying, right? So do you think now that we have access to immediate torque, there's going to be more car accidents because people aren't used to the amount of immediate powers?
I can't even imagine. I would say 60 to 80 people I know who've never driven a really fast car.
Oh, not at all. Like, if you think about, most people are going to go to Volkswagen, go buy a Jetta for $26,000, and they're going to stick with 210 horsepower, and that is it. But now we're almost getting pushed into electric cars. Look at the power differences, and look how it's delivered. What's going to happen when this person that's never been in a car that has power, and you feel it too, immediately has all of it available. Like, that's a scary thought.
Well, it's like that guy in Utah. There's a gas station company called Mavericks. Love you guys. They gave away a Lambo.
Yeah, exactly. Same concept.
The day he picked it up, driving home, put it in a ditch because he had no idea.
Same day he crashed it on the freeway.
No idea how to drive a car with that much juice. And it's going to be the same with this. And juice is the right word now.
Yeah.
So...
Well, the scarier part is, at least the Lambo, it took a second for him to, like, realize, oh, I'm going fast, this is a bad idea. This is immediate. So there is no, unless you're the fastest thinker in the world, there is no, this is a bad idea, brake. Like, that's not going to happen. It's going to be immediately quick, and then all of a sudden you're just squished.
Yeah, unless it also has safety braking.
Yeah, which...
a little sensor, oh, there's a squirrel in the road, brake.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's some of that built in, but, I mean, look at... There's a lot of things showing that humans still need to be more in control of a vehicle.
And I think you're going to see a lot of people like in the cornering, coming around a pretty tight corner.
Yeah.
Hitting it a little too much, not used to it.
Oh man, auto body shops, I hope you like quarter panels because you're about to see a lot of them.
So that will be interesting to see how that affects, because seriously, that one that I rode in,
the Ludicrous.
No, it was the small Tesla, the souped up one.
Yeah, it had the ludicrous mode Tesla. Yeah.
I think it was insane.
Oh yeah, they're rockets, and the Plaid's even faster. Like, that's crazy.
It's almost scary because if you have a fast car, you need to know how to drive it. You need to know how to handle it.
Well, and with a fast car, you build into the speed. You build into understanding when the speed kicks in. And obviously you'll learn that with electric cars too, but because it's so much snappier in electric and just immediate, like...
It's almost like they need a grandpa mode.
The electric four-wheeler that we had in St. George had a bunny rabbit and a turtle. Oh, any of these companies, if you throw that on as any form of throttle, I will buy your vehicle.
Yeah, around town.
End of story.
Three-quarter, half.
Jackrabbit.
Half juice, But,
oh, you know what? I'm getting on the freeway. I need a jackalope. Don't ask questions. They're real.
Okay.
And if you need real speed, cheetah.
Been to Wyoming lately? See me a jackalope. Yeah, that's an interesting thought.
Yeah, I've thought about that one a lot, actually.
Yeah, we'll see how many people are. Mm-hmm. It's like STI
and
is one of the
then
most...
here comes in what happens when people go on
story. STIs are like the #1 crashed car out there.
Oh, duh. It's because people like me are driving them.
Get Subarus, all-wheel drive, I can handle it. Next thing you know, you're in a ditch. It's going to be like that. Mm-hmm. Tesla or electric cars may become the most crashed cars out there because people don't know how to handle the speed.
And then the other thought is,
what's that?
Our insurance rates are going to go up because of this.
What's this one?
The Rivian. Okay, so this is the next one on the list. This is the truck. So this is the truck. Good looking, right?
That thing has that much power.
Yeah, let's read the specs of this. Okay, so this thing is a quad motor, which means it has a dual motor for the front and a dual motor for the rear. It's completely separate systems that work together. So they took a Tesla, they split it, and they doubled it, but like also squished it, like insane.
That's insane.
The front half of this car has 415 horsepower and 413 torque. That is front wheel drive. Imagine anything with that much power front wheel drive, and now you lifted it in a truck. That's terrifying.
Your torque steer
is stupid. Yeah, my Mini was probably putting out close to 230. The torque steer on that thing would break a wrist.
When you shifted gears, you almost changed lanes because the torque steer is when the front wheels, you hit them, you hit the gas, and there's so much torque, the wheels don't know where to go, so they start turning left or right. And next thing you know, your car's going the wrong way.
Yeah, it'll just start. So it's just the power overtakes the entire vehicle.
And so you get something with that much horsepower.
That's just the front. The rear has 420 horsepower and 495 torque, which means this thing can put out 800 135 horsepower all at once in a truck. That's terrifying. But that also means it's also basically a electric version of a T-Rex.
And it can tow.
And we are big fans of that.
6,700
pounds.
Well, that says 67,000.
That 1,000. That's what I meant. That's insane.
67,000 pounds.
What even weighs that much? How many elephants is that?
That's nuts. So, can you imagine that much power behind somebody?
What happens when John goes and trades in his Dakota for this? Guess who doesn't have the scariest truck in the world anymore? John. Guess what he doesn't have either? A Dakota. You know what he has? A coffin. So I don't know. I'm torn on it. It's obviously the way it's going to go. I also don't think it's being handled responsibly, is being a good way to say it.
This has taken a massive turn.
Yeah, I told you, this is a very concept-based situation. And please add in your thoughts on this, especially on newbies to power, because...
Yeah, and if you haven't driven an electric car...
Or a powerful car, try it first.
Comment on it when you do go for a ride in one, because it is insane. Mm-hmm. You know, and
it's
around town.
It makes you